Alright, hello anybody who's watching this. This is my first video I'm trying to record, so let's see how this turns out. But I am here to show making stuff on Second Life. I'm Chiyo of ChiMia. I can't even talk right, so this is fun, but this is the store ChiMia. I co-own it with my friend Jack. He's also known as Michael St. George right now on Second Life. But let's get started. And fair warning, when it comes to video, I have no idea what I'm doing. So please bear with me while I try to make stuff. But let's go to my avatar here. Oh, look at her. She's so adorable. This is our store account. I mostly log on with her and do stuff. Jack kind of does his own thing and sends them over. I do a lot of the store management. And what are we doing today? We are working on this lovely bench. Now Jack made this bench for us. And right now it's not doing anything. It just kind of sits there. So I am going to use Avsitter and try to pose this, at least for one person. And we will go through a few different poses and you guys can see how I do this. There's actually quite a few in here already. I already loaded them up and put the Avsitter scripts in, as you can see. I doubt I'll record doing every single one of these. I tend to go a little crazy and put a lot of animations in my furniture, so... Oh, also I hear my dogs entering the room, so you might hear them barking in the background. Very casual, this video. Once again, I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to videos, so let's just dive in here. First I set it up. I named this object. And let's see, we're not going to worry about permissions and stuff at the moment. I do click to sit on object. It's furniture that you sit on. That's why we're posing it. It just makes it easier to set it up like that to begin with. And then you sit down, and this is the Avsitter menu. First we want to say adjust. So this is in the creation menu. We bring out the helper. And so this all looks very odd. It's kind of supposed to. This starts you out so you can put your, kind of like the pose balls, just it's the marker for where your avatar is going to sit. So we just kind of want to line that up a little bit here. Now this other adjuster is for the second person, but we won't bother with that right now. But if you want to set up the second person as well, you hit swap and then you move over to that side. So I'm just kind of set it over there-ish so it's out of the way while we work on the first avatar sit position. So look at her, she's just sitting there looking all cute. It's adorable. This avatar is a little small, as you can see. I tend to make small avatars, so I keep in mind that most people have larger avatars than me when they play. And that's totally fine. So, we're here, we have a sort of a position here. I'm gonna make a new pose. New. Now pose is just for a single person. And let's start out with this first animation / pose listed here. Oh, look at that, she's curling her knees. We need to give it a name for the menu. So we'll just say she's curled up sitting. Curled. Took it a minute, but there it goes. My internet is also pretty crappy, so sometimes it lags like this. Just need to give it a minute. There we go. takes a while for everything to go over my crappy internet and communicate with Second Life and come back. Oh, look at that, I'm making sales. That's always fun. Alright, so back to this. She's kind of curled up, sitting here. Now I kind of cam around. There's a lot of camming around to get a better look. You gotta make sure everything looks great. Every angle, make sure she's not sticking out, her butt sticking out the back or anything like that. And then kind of zoom in here. How far up from the bench is she sitting? Okay, so she's kind of up there a little bit. So we're editing the adjuster and moving it down, trying to, once again, sorry about my crappy slow internet, it's laggy. There we go. So there we go, she's kind of sitting down, she's got her legs her feet kind of propped up on the side there. That looks kind of cute, right? Of course it's gonna look different for every avatar shape and their heights and whatever shoes they're wearing and whatnot. I could get it perfect for my avatar, but then it still wouldn't look perfect for maybe your avatar. So we'll get into that later. Avsitter allows the adjustment by the customer, so they can save adjustments as well after they get the product. So I just get close and I say, okay, that's good enough for now, and I save. So we give it a second. This will save the exact positioning from this adjuster guy into the object. There we go. Save to memory. And we'll talk a little bit more about getting all of those positions out of memory onto the note card a little bit later. For now, let's pick a new pose. We've got one pose saved. Look at her, she's sitting there, she's looking cute, having a good time on this bench. Isn't that lovely? So we hit new, pose. And let's try number 2 here. Once again, give it a minute. My internet is being really laggy tonight. Sorry about that. Alright, look at her. This is a new pose. Once again, we're camming around, seeing how it looks. Her leg is kind of digging into the objects there. Oh yes. We need a name. So forward, cross. It's got to be short. The buttons on the menus for this is the default Second Life menu system, and the buttons do not allow that many characters, so we keep it short and yet descriptive. Somehow it can be a challenge sometimes, but let's try that. Now, can I edit? There we go. We're coming back. Once again, taking a minute to communicate between my computer and Second Life and back because of my DSL internet. I live out in the woods. My internet is not good. I don't have many options. So once again, I'm kind of trying to scoot her forward a bit so her legs are not digging into the bench. And we need patience. Posing furniture takes a lot of patience. But it's okay. For some reason I like doing this. I'm a weirdo, I know. Okay, so that looks pretty good, right? If you have longer legs, they'll stick out a little bit more, but the butt's still on the seats. Butt's not completely digging into the seats, even though she has the S-Link curvy mesh body, so her curves will stick in a little bit, but it's not like super noticeable and weird. So we say, hey, that looks pretty good. She's just kind of leaning forward, hanging out on a bench. Let's call this good, and let's hit save. And here we go. So we've got two whole poses here. Here's the menu. We have our curled pose that we started with, the forward cross that we have showing now. And my dogs are playing with toys in the background. Squeak squawk. Silly dogs. I love those little jerks. Alright, so let's do a new pose. New. Give it a minute to bring the menu up. We want a new pose, just like we did the last two times. And giving it a minute. Here we go. Let's see what number 3 looks like. And waiting. But at least she looks adorable. Oh, there we go. Now that's cute. I like this pose. Oh, and she even leans up. Looks like she's talking or just kind of checking out what's going on around her. I think she just sneezed, maybe? I don't know. That's really cute, though. Very realistic, this animation. I like it. A little feet are going there. Okay, so let's name this thing. The file name for the pose from the creator is Fair Forward. Sure. Fair Forward. Now I can rename these in the configuration note card later. If I want to, if I decide I don't like that name, Fair Forward, I can change it later on. But I'll talk about that in a little bit here. Okay, so let's see how we should position her here. Is she good where she is? Look at her little butt there. Firmly on the seat. She's leaning forward, so she's not scooted all the way back. That makes sense. Let's see. Look at her feet dangling there. I don't see her butt really sticking out the bottom very much. Just a little bit of the thigh. Once again, she has a curvy avatar, so it's not noticeable. It's not hanging out way down here or anything. That would be weird. I think she looks pretty good exactly where she is. So I'm going to hit save again. And that saves the positioning. All of this XYZ. All your old algebra math classes coming back with Second Life. It saves all that. There we go. Post save to memory. And there we go. So now we've done 3. Seems like it's just the same thing over and over and over again at this point. I'll probably end up with like 20-30 poses for this single sitter at the end. I'm not gonna go and talk through and do that whole thing. This video would take forever, and it's a lot of the same thing over and over again. I hit new, I choose pose, I pick an animation that I have loaded within here. Or no, wait, not there. Within here. And so many. And I don't usually gender my creations. Some of them, it's very obviously it's more of a feminine pose, and I'll just put like FEM towards the end or something like that. But for the most part, I'm just like, you know what, it's up to you if you want like what pose you want to use or not, or you could keep flipping through the menu when you own this and just so however you want. Who am I to tell you what to do? So there's a note about that. And I might do a video at some point where I do sync poses and pose the second sit and things like that, but this is my very first video I'm recording, so I don't want to get into all that right now. So right now, let's see, let's just go ahead, we hit this dump. We were talking about saving the pose positions and all of that in the object memory, and now we want to get those out of there. So we hit this dump button, and then so in my local chat, which I will bring into view a little bit better, all of this stuff spits out. And really, we follow the instructions. It says copy below into the AV positioning note card. So I copied, oh, I better hit that one too, even though we didn't set anything for sitter one. So I just copied in between the copy below and the copy above. I copied that like a good girl. I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna edit this, go into the contents, and find that note card that it mentioned. Here we go. Right now it's empty because we had nothing saved. It was just a plain old bench until we started messing with the menu and positioning. So I'm going to paste all this in here, and I'm going to hit save. Now if you don't do this part, everything that you posed before this through the menus and the AV positioner and all that stuff, it all goes away basically if you derez this and everything. So let's see, we're going to go back, we're going to sit down, and look, there's our menu. We have our curled pose, our forward cross, our fair forward, and of course we have our adjust, because once again, you can, anytime you see the adjust here, it means the scripts were left in to where you can adjust it to your avatar. So like I leave these in, so when you're a customer and you buy this bench and you say, hey, I have an avatar that's a completely different size and shape than the default and everything looks weird and I need to adjust so it looks good for my avatar, they can still use the adjust menu and they can adjust and then they can save it and then it works for them. So, and then swap is, if you see a swap, it's because it's meant for another person, another avatar to jump in here and they should have their own menu and stuff, but we have not set that up, but we can see what it looks like. Yeah, see, nothing. We didn't do anything for it yet. We didn't position it. It's just default, like, hey, I have no idea what I'm doing here. So let's go back and swap back to the first one. There we go. And that's basically the basics of getting Avsitter started and worked on for furniture on Second Life. This is pretty much how I do it, at least to get started for one avatar only. But like I said, I just keep going and I keep adding and I keep adding and I keep adding until I'm satisfied. And yeah, my furniture ends up with a lot of poses, way more than what we probably need. But I like giving options. So I hope everybody appreciates that. And then I hope to do a lot more of these videos in the future. Hopefully we would get into more details on Avsitter sometime. I also make a lot of other different things, appliers, and we make accessories and decor and jack bakes, buildings, and yeah, hopefully we can talk about all that stuff. But for now, this is it. So thanks, and subscribe if you want to do more, and feedback is great. Talk to us on the channel. Check out our store, ChiMia, once again. Chiyo and Mia, which is Marcus. He sometimes has a female avatar, and he names her Mia, so it's Chiyo and Mia. And there's our website there, ChiMiaSL.com, and look at all of our stuff and check us out more. There's more stuff about us, the creators, on the About page and so forth. And feel free to ask us about specific things in the creation process. We want to know. Alright, take care everybody. Till next time.